Hi guys, this is Michael from the Boardgames Chronicle. Welcome to already fifth last material in the ongoing series of the strategic videos for Cuba Libre, second game in the coin series. This game is by Volker Runke and Jeff Grossman and tells the story of Castro insurgency during the 1957 and 1958. What we already discussed, and you can find the links to all of the videos under this material, but also at the beginning and at the end of material, there should be links over this material. First of all, how to play the game, all of the basic rules, all the basic assumptions. This was in the first material. Then during the first material of the factions review, we went through the government. Here they are. Then we discussed first important insurgent faction, that is communists, and 26th of July. As in the last video, we touched upon Directorio, so the anti-communist and anti-Batista insurgents. What we will be looking today at will be one of the most interesting factions in all the coin games, the Syndicate. So let's be honest, the organized crime. Couple of words of the background, who the Syndicate was and why they were in Cuba. The American mob was looking for a pretty long time for a refugee from the United States justice system, which was on their heels for decades, and trying to get down the mafia. And they find the perfect space where? In Cuba. Not far away from US, not far away from Miami, in a perfect space where they can work with the president of the country, Batista, in kind of a symbiosis. So they were paying Batista huge money, thanks to which he was able to fund their police, and in exchange they were simply protecting their casinos. See, we have one missing here from the. You see the casinos here, and they were protected by the troops and by the police. It was kind of a symbiosis which worked pretty well. The Syndicate, of course, is treated as an insurgent faction in this game, but on the other hand, he is a natural ally, at least to some degree, for the government. And of course, the main weapon of Syndicate is money, and once again money. That is why you also see this cash stashes here, which will be used by them during the play. So this is the background. As I said, a pretty unique faction. Never before and never after I've seen such interesting faction to play with. What we'll tell you about today is, first of all, about the commands and specials of this faction. We'll talk about the victory conditions, some special rules. They will mainly be touching about cash and what we can do with this cash. Later on, some strategic considerations how to play, and of course, a couple of interesting events which you should be aware of, because they can give you the victory. So without further delay, let us jump to the fantastic player aid and to the operations and activities. Here it is, the operations and activities of the Syndicate. They to some extent remind of the operations and activities of other insurgents. If you look, for example, like this, we see that Directory has rally, march, attack, terror. The 26th of July also have rally, march, attack, terror. The Syndicate has rally, march, terror, and something special, which is construct, and we'll talk about this in a moment. But before that, let's briefly go through already known to you operations. First of all, rally, which augment friendly forces. Can be done in any provinces or cities. It costs 1 resource per space selected, and we place 1 guerrilla. If we have open casino, we may flip instead all guerrillas to underground. Important to note, I need to mention this already here. These are the casinos. And if casino is flipped back, this is a closed casino, this is open casino. You do not remove casinos, like bases and other stuff which are being removed. You do not remove casinos by attack unless there are some specific circumstances, but as a general rule, you don't do it. So if you have open casino, you can do a lot of things with Syndicate. Another thing is just see that they have only six guerrillas. This is not much less even than Directorio with 12 troops. And also, these are not truly the guerrillas. These are some mob muscles which are being used to protect the casinos. Let's treat them like that. Then we have March. To rally, we can add any special ability. To march, we can add any special ability also. We move friendly guerrillas to any spaces. We pay 1 resource per destination, not per the city from which we move. And if it's economic center, it costs 0. What's the procedure? Similar to other insurgent procedures, we move guerrillas into adjacent spaces if destination has support or is economic center. And if moving guerrillas plus cubes where exceeds 3, we activate the guerrillas. Simple, like in a case of 26th of July and Directorio. If there is a support, so for example, the local people support the government, and if there are too many units there, they will be spotted. Example from the Directorio was, and I will do this now with the Syndicate. If we move this Syndicate muscle here to the city, this is a support with the city with a support. There is more than 3 pieces. This guy will be flipped and he will be activated, and he's now vulnerable to attack, assault, and other stuff like this. Then we have terror. I will go to the construct in a moment. Terror works almost one-to-one as the terror in case of Directorio, because in this case we neutralize support or economic activity. Any spaces with underground guerrilla, yes, we pay 1 resource per province or 0 in economic center. What's important, we activate the guerrilla, and in province or city we add a terror marker which prevents change of the support, and you need to remove this terror marker first before you can do anything with support there. And what is important, it shifts support opposition 1 level towards neutral, exactly in the same way like Directorio, unlike 26th of July, which usually after terror moves into active opposition. That's important. If we have unsabotaged economic center, we would place the sabotage. For the terror, I haven't seen too many times played this by Syndicate, because where Syndicate focuses is here. Money, and once again, money. There's a special operation by Syndicate called Construct, which can be done with any special activity. Its purpose is to build new casinos, and casinos are one of the ways for Syndicate to win. So this can be built in any cities or provinces that either the government or Syndicate controls. So under the protection of the government or on their own. And if I'm not mistaken, you can have maximum 2 casinos per city or province. You cannot have casinos in economic zones. It costs 5 resources per space selected. It's never free. If you have a special event saying you can execute the operation free, not this one. And what's the procedure? In each selected space, we either place a closed casino or open a closed casino. Yeah, it costs a lot. It costs 5, I know, but it's important. So either we, for example, build a closed casino, or if the casino was closed, we open. And of course, if we do 2 such things, that will cost us a lot, 5 here and 5 here. By the way, here, of course, there is no control, so we would need to have this closed casino to be able to legally flip it, yeah, because this has to be a place with a government or Syndicate control. It's important to remember we don't remove casinos we close them or open, and only the open casinos are counting against victory threshold of Syndicate. Now, let's look at what makes this game unique, and so at the special activities of the factions, and not only unique, but also asymmetric. First of all, profit. Before we talk about the profit, one thing which we need to explain are those interesting markers here. 4 of them. Yep. These are cash markers, and they represent large stashes of cash, really large. And yeah, there are 4 of them, and this is the limit, and they represent major stashes of cash, of loot, but they are awaiting laundering, of course, or deposit in the United States. The limit is on purpose 4, so you cannot have more. And if they are on the map, they are always placed beneath guerrilla or beneath the cube. So, for example, if we have it here, the owner would simply stand on this. What this cash is, what you can do with the cash. First of all, if the owner of the cash is removed, it's important. For example, government assaults the syndicate, they kill them, and they immediately take control of the cash. Then, if a faction has cash somewhere on the map and executes operation without special activity, they can use one cache to have another operation, limited operation. It's very useful for government in such a case, because what they can do, they can first do the operation, government operations are here, of course. They can do the sweep, like here, for example. They can activate them, and then using the cache, they can do a limited operation here, for example, do the assault. Of course, these are the mountains, so for every 2 cubes we remove 1, but still, as you can see, there is a way to do move and attack in 1 round, and this is exactly by utilizing cache. Remember about this. But cache, can also be used as a form of a resource. So during the resource phase here, in the propaganda phase, the owners of the cache has a choice. Each marker provides the owner either a base for Syndicate, it's actually an open casino, not a base, or +6 resources. So if you manage to get the cache and store it till the end of the round, till the propaganda phase, during the resource phase, you can really do nice things with this. And now, when we know how the cache operates, let's talk about the profit. Purpose, stack cache. It accompanies rally, march, or construct. Rally, march, construct. And what does it allow? Procedure. You can place 1 cache marker with any guerrilla or cube in each of 1 or 2 selected spaces with an open casino, or close any open casinos and remove any cache desired for 3 resources each. So with a profit, first of all, you can generate cache. And for example, let's have such situation. Okay. And let's have 2 insurgents here. So what we can do is say, okay, dear government, we want to get rid of this 26th of July insurgents. Can you help us? Yes, we can, but pay us a little. Okay, so in my profit special activity, I'm giving you the cash. Please now take care of them. Let's assume that we have also here on this grid. Then in this casino, we would love to get some cash for ourselves, so we'll put them here. So this is the example how the profit works. Now, Let's assume that we have this situation on the map, and there is again possibility for Syndicate to play special activity profit. They can also close the casino and get this cash here and get free resources. That's not most efficient way of utilizing cash, because some of this was evidently wasted. We only get 3 resources, and if we manage to keep it till the resource phase, we would get 6. But we might be under pressure, and maybe somebody was playing to attack us, so we wanted to simply capitalize on whatever possible. It's 50% is better than 0%. Let's be honest. Okay, now after the profit, let's talk about muscle. That's very cute, because there's a special rule which says that in such situation, like here, the guerrillas cannot attack casino because the troops and police are protecting it. So whenever you have a casino with the troops and or police, the attack which goes against Syndicate, first of all, has to remove troops. So muscle is positioning troops or police to protect Syndicate property. They accompany rally, march, or construct for free. And we need a space with an open casino or economic center. Procedure. We move 1 or 2 troops for any spaces on the map to the selected space if province or economic center, or 1 or 2 police if city. So muscle allows us to bring, let's change the situation. Let's say that we have such situation. Okay, we have open casino here, and we actually also opened casino here. And we have, of course, a huge number of troops and huge number of police in Havana. And now as Syndicate, we are afraid because, you know, some insurgents appeared next to our casinos. So what we can do to protect those casinos? We can, of course, try to rally our muscles, or we can do the muscle here and simply bring some police to cities or troops to provinces. And now those cubes are protecting the casinos. Kind of a symbiosis between the corrupt government and organized crime. Okay, and then last but not least, we have bribe. Bribe allows us to neutralize, expose, or hide units. Accompanying operations can be any location, any one space, maximum 1 space. Muscle was also maximum 1 space. So sorry, I could not do this in both spaces. Let's say either of 2. And then what happens? The Syndicate resource is -3. And I believe bribe is the only special activity where you need to pay. Yeah, and this is -3. We remove 2 cubes. So 2 police, 1 police, 1 troop, 2 troops. Remove or flip 2 guerrillas. Nice. And this is cool. Or remove an enemy base from the selected space. Transfer any cash removed if desired. This is pretty powerful. That is why it costs 3. You can remove 2 guerrillas or flip them active. You can remove up to 2 cubes, or you can immediately remove base, even if the base is stacked with the troops or with pieces. So in such cases, you can do it. And yes, actually, location any one space, we don't even need to have the presence of a guerrilla there. So that's really, really powerful. That will be all about Syndicate. As you can see, the operations and especially activities are pretty unique, pretty interesting. Now let's talk about how to win with a Syndicate and what are their victory conditions. Victory conditions for Syndicate are twofold. First of all, they need to have more than 7 casinos open on the map, and then they need to have more than 30 resources. Not so easy to do, but on the other hand, they don't need to control anything. So they need to have a lot of casinos And remember, you can have only 2 casinos per space, no more. In this situation, yeah, they reach the threshold, 8 casinos open. And second thing, they need to have like more than 30 resources. Of course, they will be getting the resources from the cash, but they also have a pretty interesting mechanic of getting resources during the propaganda phase. During the propaganda phase, Syndicate gets, first of all, population of each city and the economic value of each unsabotaged economic center where Syndicate guerrillas outnumber police. So simply where we have the mob, we can do like this. The mob takes the resources from here, not the government. Interesting, yeah. And the second is the double number of casinos. In this case, we have 8 casinos. We would be getting 16 of resources. It's really, really easy for Syndicate to get the cash, and they don't have such problems with resources like 26th of July or Directorio, which means that sometimes, especially with this profit special activity, they can pay for some things to the insurgents. So that will be the let's say victory conditions. In this case, I need to mention one more thing. Resources being the most important part of a Syndicate victory points. There is something like a scheme, and you can see the scheme here. What does it mean? That means that for each space with any open casinos, the Syndicate has to transfer 2 resources to the controlling function. The scheme means simply, okay guys, fine, operate, no problem, pay us for your operations. So this is important to know, that you simply pay a protection fee as Syndicate. So this scheme is slightly limiting the amount of money you can get. It's good that this is for each space, because if you have 2 casinos, you still pay 2. So those casinos generate 4, and you pay 2. That will be all for the victory conditions. Now, let us have a look at some events, because they are what makes this game very, very interesting. Events for Syndicate, and we are starting with, wow, Mafia Offensive. This is what I have for you. So what's interesting here for the Syndicate is this capability, Hitman. Syndicate may assassinate as if Directorio, but regardless of police. Let me just remind you, this is Directorio assassinate. Remove any one enemy piece from the space or close one casino. Take any cash removed. Normally, you need a space selected for terror operation where Directorio guerrillas outnumber police. You don't need to outnumber police in this case. Really, really powerful capability. Second is, of course, Mayor Lansky. And what this allows us to do, it allows us master mobster. Syndicate relocates any casinos anywhere within stacking all casinos open. That could be a game changer. If you are finding yourself in pretty dire position with a lot of casinos closed and you want to relocate them to more safe spaces, you simply play this event and move them around, preferably to spaces where it's either government or your mobsters. Fourth event, which I would like to present, is Frank Sinatra. Place an open casino in Havana regardless of stacking. Place 1 cash with police there. Also very good event, because normally you have a stacking of 2, you are getting the 3rd. So, and also on top of this, you're getting police with cash. Of course, you need to pay the government for the help. But what that makes, first of all, you have additional victory point. Second of all, you still remember the scheme, yeah? So we pay 2 because we do not control Havana, but on the other hand, we are getting 6 resources from here. So this is 4 net. This is even good to play when you have already two casinos in Havana, of course. Last but not least, I would like also to present this capability, Santo Traficante Jr. capability, old-time mobster, and underground syndicate guerrillas block scheme. This is something which really helps in order not to be schemed by the other factions. So this capability combined, for example, with Sinatra means that we have 6 resources here every turn. Here we have another 4, so it would mean 10 resources per each propaganda. And remember, we need to get 30 or more. It's very powerful capability, which allows you to even quicker amass the funds. It will be all for the event. Let me now do the summary. So guys, in this video, I presented to you the Syndicate, a pretty unique faction as far as coin counterinsurgency games are concerned. This faction main weapon is money. They don't have the attack capability. They have profit, muscle, bribe, but normally they cannot remove other pieces unless you use the bribe and, for example, remove the base. This is a unique activity for which you need to pay, but still bribing can be very, very annoying for your opponent. You build the casinos, which normally are not being removed, but after attack can be closed. You need more than 7 of them, and you need like more than 30 resources. These are not easy achievable goals. That is why you need to ally, and your natural ally is of course government, whose cubes are protecting your casinos. All in all, playing Syndicate is a fun game. It's a slightly different experience than you have normally with coin factions. So I strongly recommend you to also try that. With the Syndicate discussed, that will be all in my series of Cuba Libre strategic materials. We went through the how to play material and then 4 additional material about each and every faction: government, 26th of July, directorio, and Syndicate. I really like this game. I think this is one of the best entry points to the coin system, based on which you can learn a lot and then further go through the path of more complex games, up to the Fire in the Lake ultimate design in the series, which I so much appreciate. And I think I will also prepare similar materials like I did for Cuba Libre. For today, that will be everything. Thank you for being with me today in this video, but also through, for other videos in the series. If you like this material, kindly please give thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content like this about coin series, about how to play, about factions discussion, please feel free to reach to me by subscribing and getting the most up-to-date and fresh information. Also, if you'd like to comment, ask, or maybe point out any errors which I made in the video, please use the section below this video. That's all for today. Thank you, and hear from you soon in another Board Games Chronicle material. Thank you. Bye.